What's up, Juventini? Alberto here. Got all your Juve news. All right. Renewal status around a handful of players at Juventus. Some interesting maneuvering that could be done to get some deals done in the summer. What next season could be shaping up like with a couple of added competitions. And year zero. Romeo Agresti's rant about year zero. Is it year zero for Juventus? We're going to tackle it all right now. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the AJC. Let's rock. First things first. Calafiori's name heating up with links to Juventus. Of course, right next to Lewis Ferguson. All right. Now, what's interesting is we were hearing about Barbieri's name added to a target list for Bologna, but there apparently is more youngsters at Juventus that Bologna has interest in. The list is Iling Jr., Meretti, and also Enzo Barnechea. So are multiple of these players going to be used to kind of seal one or maybe two of these players coming to Juventus in the summer? We will have to see, because the other list of youngsters that Juve is evaluating their futures stands as Dean Huijsen, Matthias Sule, Barnechea, who we just heard about, and also Caio George. So some interesting decisions going to be coming from Juventus, all right? And now while we take a look at that young player status, all right, it's very much going to be important what Juventus decides based on what could be happening next season, because obviously we have qualified for Club World Cup, which is at the end of next season, summer of 2025, but currently holding down third place in the table for a Champions League spot. We want to do everything we can to get in there for the resources and everything, but with those two added competitions, all right, we could potentially be up to 70 matches next season, all right? So bolstering the roster is going to be critical for Juventus. Banking on so much young players through that, I don't think is the play. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Giuntoli maneuvers through that going into the summer. But it is said that some of these loan players that are out there are going to have to fuel summer sales, all right? And that is Arthur, Pellegrini, and Rovella. So we will see what happens there. But Juve very much wants final sales there to kind of fuel that summer mercato. We will see what happens. In terms of the squad, well, renewals, everybody's looking at the list right now to figure out what Juventus is going to do. As far as McKennie goes, there is interest from the Premier League, all right? But Juve apparently have initiated discussions for his renewal, all right? He has played in 27 of 30 matches. He has 9 assists across all competitions, 7 of those in Serie A, second to only Giroud, all right? For Rabiot, he apparently, we're starting to hear, is tempted to sign a multi-year deal, a 2-year deal, but he could easily walk away. When it comes to Rabiot, well, he's made 22 appearances. He's got 4 goals. He's got 3 assists, all right? Our points per game is at 2.27 with him in the lineup versus 1.5 with him out of it. This one is a weird one to me, because I do feel like we play a little more fluid without Rabiot, but the proof is there in the numbers that the results seem to not come. I'm still on the side of letting him walk and looking elsewhere, especially if it's a guy like Koop Manners, and still adding one out of Goodmanson, Lewis Ferguson, or Samardzic. Samardzic being my preferred player, all right? In terms of Rugani, just clearing some final details. He should be getting renewed by Juventus a little bit later this season. Federico Chiesa, zero progress on any contract renewals with Federico Chiesa. Vlahovic looks to be untouchable by Juventus, and there is a lot of optimism about spreading out that salary and locking into a contract extension. Kenan Yildiz also heading to 2029 on a contract extension. So the only one that is looking pretty grim so far right now is Fede Chiesa. We will see what happens. In terms of this summer and what's going to shape up for me, I need to see a statement of intent from Juventus. I know Giuntoli is still going to have some shackles on him financially, but it is up to him to find maneuvers and find boosts to this roster regardless, all right? Because we talk about this team being at year zero. Romeo Agresti went on an absolute rant yesterday, speaking about year zero and flipping out on Monblano, saying year zero, what year zero, right? This is year 3. He said it's year 0 for Giuntoli, Manna, etc., but it is not year 0 for Massimiliano Allegri. So Romeo Agresti has pretty much reached his wit's end with Massimiliano Allegri, all right? But make no doubt about it, it is in fact year 0 at Juventus because they have not been building, all right? You do not go into your 3rd year of a build. If it was a build, only adding Cambiaso Caviglia, who you already owned, with Weah at 12 million euros, a utility player. That is not year 3 of a build when your first year you were in 342 million euros debt, all right? That is not a build. This has been sustain mode while we clean up. And to be fair, Massimiliano Allegri has served his purpose in that mode. But this summer, I want a statement of intent from Juventus. I want this build to move forward. We are close to having the financials cleaned up. I want Giuntoli to still be able to work with that because there are teams out there making boost also while having some shackles on them. So Giuntoli, yes, we need to boost the squad. When we talk about Club World Cup, Champions League, potential for 70 matches, I don't think banking on all these young guys is going to be the play. So he's going to have his work cut out for him. But I am looking for a statement of intent from Juventus. Max has served his purpose. But for me, I do think you make that change too. And we start this build for real. And I do believe it's year 0. Agree, disagree? Hit me in the comments, everybody, on all the news you heard today, and let's mix it up. You guys know the drill. Like the video, subscribe, share the content, and let's hear it in the comments. Fino alla fine, Forza Juve. We'll chat tomorrow.